I believe passionately in small d democratic freedoms. I believe that this country, for all of our flaws at the outset, for all the compromises that we had to make, for all the pain and sweat and tears and setbacks, that we have slowly bent the arc, that we can be that shining city on the hill, that we can be a nation that is inspiring, that is great not in the blustery Trumpian, facile way that they believe greatness is comprised. But I believe it's a country that can be that beacon in the world. I believe in that in my gut, in my heart. I believe it in the most profound possible way. We are entering 2 election cycles that will decide the future. I don't want to scare people, but there are a lot of folks on the right, people I used to know, people I used to be friends with, who have accepted completely that Donald Trump and Trumpism and nationalist populism are the future. And even if Donald Trump tomorrow was eaten by a shark, fell in the water off Mar-a-Lago and was eaten by a shark, the cancer of Trumpism and the cancer of nationalism, the cancer of populism will survive. And it is something that the fight against is so important that, it led me and a lot of folks like me to walk away from careers, lives, friendships, and take on this fight. But it's not a fight that requires somebody like me or Stuart or Reed or Joe or any of the people on my team. You don't need 30 years of experience in politics to be in politics. You don't need a lifetime of grinding away in the salt mines of political consulting or political life to understand how important the moment we live in is. And that moment is enormously consequential. There are a lot of Republicans who would like to just go ahead and skip the election stuff altogether. Why are they passing these bills in the states that say we get to decide who counts the vote? We get to decide if that vote count is legitimate or not. We get to decide who can vote when they can vote. We get to decide whether or not we like the neighborhood you're in. We get to decide whether you can bring somebody a bottle of water at a polling place. And by the way, I plan to be arrested in Georgia this year by bringing voters bottles of water. I plan on it. This is a civil rights battle of our time. But why are they doing that? Because the model of the Republican Party of the future isn't the Republican Party of the past. It's the Ba'ath Party in Iraq, where every 2 years there were things that looked like elections. Every 2 years there were things that appeared to be elections. They weren't elections. The dear leader would win with 105% of the vote. The Ba'ath Party would win all 298 seats in the legislative body. Because Republicans do not believe in anything now except power and its retention, that's the kind of future they want. That's the landscape they want to see. It does not have to be that way. There are more of us than there are of them. There are more Americans who still believe that this country means something, that this beautiful propositional nation means something bigger, that it's not about white outrage. It's not about an organized propaganda network that convinces 80 million Americans every night that they're the ones who are being suppressed and oppressed and that they deserve their vengeance. They're not the ones who who believe that unless your folks came over on the Mayflower at some point, that you're not really an American. The propositional nature of this country remains for me like the most inspiring thing. It's one of the reasons I get up every day and get in this fight. And I love the fight. Okay. I've loved it for 30 years, but for a long time, I didn't feel great about it. I feel great about it. I sleep great at night. I get up in the morning and I swing that battle axe at bad guys every day, and I freaking love it. I hope that folks that are watching tonight will get involved politically. I hope you'll start thinking about like where you can be effective in state and local races. Look, people ask me all the time, like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? How can I be involved? What can I do to make a difference? What can I say, in my community?